Welcome back, class, to another live stream of Animation Collab, where I experiment with new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. My name is Sonja and I'm a motion designer. Subscribe if you haven't already. I live stream every Tuesday and Friday. And today we're going to continue the collaboration with Andy. He's a cybersecurity expert and has his own YouTube channel where he creates cybersecurity content, and I'm helping him animate one of his upcoming videos. If you've missed any of the past streams on this collaboration, you can find all replays of past live streams on my YouTube channel. There is a lot to see. We did a whole client briefing with Andy. We did a feedback round. I set up the whole project, the storyboard, the illustrations, and the animation files in Illustrator, and I brought them all in, well, not all, most of them into After Effects. We've created an animation template for a scene that will be reused in this animation, and we've animated some singular one-off scenes, and that's where we're going to continue. We're going to continue animating the infographic style scene, and I have a special surprise. Well, not surprise, but I'm going to try something for that scene. I'm going to try and create a kind of modular setup for that graph, the attack framework that comes down in like this, I don't know, projector screen. And let's see if that works. Hi, welcome everyone. Yeah, we had a few bots in the chat, unfortunately, and some technical difficulties with the camera, but hopefully everything is working now. And if I forget later when we are watching back the animation, if I forget to turn on the audio, actually I don't need my headphones right now, if I forget to turn on the audio, the desktop audio, do tell me in the chat. And if you have any questions, of course, also feel free to ask any questions that you might have about animation, about this project, about After Effects. If I'm explaining something that you don't understand, do feel free to chime in the chat. Okay, so I have my After Effects ready. We are right here, and this is the animation we created last time. And as you can see, this thing here, which I'm gonna try and full screen the preview, and I hope After Effects is not gonna crash the preview with a black screen as soon as I go back. So let's just give this a try. So this is really tiny, and there's like all of these like columns are super, super tiny. I don't like that. What I'm going to try and do and set this up with a essential properties, with the essential graphics panel. I'll create some essential properties so I can shrink this down, because this gray background of this projector screen is already a mask for these columns, if I remember correctly. And I want to set it up in such a way that we can shrink the width of it so that we can create a smaller version of it and then, you know, make it larger, smaller but larger, if you know what I mean. Let's see. If not, I'll just recreate that, this thing, and oh, it's not broken. Okay, cool. All right, so this framework should theoretically, no, it doesn't have any, what's the word? Essential properties yet, but we are going to add them now. So this animates in, and I actually want this animation as well, and I might, oh, we are missing this text at some point, we need to add that too, but right now we'll ignore it. And I have my shy turned on, and I'll open it so I can see everything that's happening in here. And this thing, where is this thing? Oh, okay. It's just, right now it's just a guide layout. We need to add that at some point. Not now though. What I would like is, I don't need to touch this, I don't think. I think I can, okay, those two things, they will need to move if I create this like shift. So the screen, I think, is currently, yes. So here you can see that it currently acts as, so you can't really see here, the screen layer acts as the set matte, so it's masking the columns, so this thing. Now, because it's animating from top to bottom, I want to try and put it to the right corner, top left corner, sorry, not right, top left corner. That way it will continue animating down, but I can add a slider for a left-right scale. So let's see. I don't have a control. I have a controller for the screen. I'll just put it on here. So let's find the controllers, and I want a slider control, and this is going to be the X scale. Let's just call it that. And for the beginning, I want this to be 100. Actually, I want to be more specific. This is the screen. Yeah, screen X scale. Okay, and then I want, maybe I need the Y scale as well. I'll just duplicate, I'll just duplicate this slider and then I'll see, because the reason why I think it might need a Y scale is I don't know if I can apply the expression and keep the keyframe. So potentially I'm gonna have to add a very complicated expression to this, but let's see. Let's just see. Actually, no, I don't, because if I break these two scales up, I can just put this, this scale, these scale keyframes, I can just put them on the slider. And I'm also going to lock the viewer lock, which you can do by whenever you click a layer, this effects control opens, and if it doesn't, you can go to Windows and then you can go to effects controls, and it will always show the layer that you have clicked, and then it shows the effects on that layer. But if I click away and this toggle viewer lock isn't locked and I click on some layer, it will always show me the effects of that particular layer. Like this one has a set matte effect on it. So since I continually want to work with this effect, I can lock this viewer lock. And actually, if I do want to see multiple, like let's say I also want to see the effects for this layer, I can go to the name. I know it's a little bit small, I'll make it a bit larger. I can go to the name of the layer in the effects controls, and I can open new effects controls viewer, and then I have this one. And then I can have multiple effects controls open if I so choose. So that's a really nice, neat trick that you can do with the effects controls. All right, so what I want is I'm gonna copy this and I will add this on here. So now that's where it is. Oh, okay, I just realized this controller, it's controlling these layers. So no, we need a separate controller, completely separate from this screen controller, because this screen controller, it moves and it does other stuff with the other layers, and the layers are already parented to that. So if I scale that, well, I was going to say if I scale that, it's going to create problems, but I'm actually not scaling the layer. I'm adding the keyframes to the slider control. So yeah, that should actually be fine, as long as I'm not adding anything to the properties of the actual null control. This should be fine. Okay, I can't do that. All right, fine. I'll just have to do it manually, and it's like finishes here, I think, and it should be easy ease. So let's put this down to not easy ease, it should be 75%. Let's check. Okay, it's on the same length. I'll remove the scale at the 100% mark, and then I will create a expression. And the way I'm going to write this expression, I'm going to make this expression a little bit more complicated, in the sense that I'm going to add variables and things that sometimes you don't need, but if you're going back into expressions and they're super messy and they're just nilly-willy pick-whipped to sliders and then just all written in one line, it can get very confusing. So I don't like doing that. So even for small things like parenting to 2 different sliders, I like to do it clean. So we have the X scale, and that's the first slider here, screen X scale. And I'm holding Alt while I'm pick whipping, so it adds this neat little index number instead of it saying slider. And then Y scale, and I'm going to pick whip to this one, again closing it with a semicolon, and then I'm going to give it the statement, the execution statement. And that's X scale, comma, Y scale. And yeah, sure, why not? Let's do that. And then it still does the animation just like before. At least it should, because I think I already removed the animation from this, right? Yeah, so obviously because we added the expression. Okay, so it's still doing that, but now I can amend the, oh no, I put it on exactly the wrong, wait, how is that possible? Oh, yeah. The animation is on the Y scale. That's... I keep getting... I'm getting confused with X and Y. Okay. So now you can see... maybe if I turn this black, you can see that I can actually make this shorter. Cool. So, oops, now I deleted it. I wanted to undo. So that's already excellent. That's exactly what I want. Now I would like to add the pull, not the pull tab, the screen tab, no, the bar top and bottom. I'm going to push these to the left center. That way the keyframes are still intact, nothing's happening to those. But, wait, what are those keyframes doing? Oh yeah, the bottom one is moving down. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'm not changing anything about the keyframes here, but I'm gonna put the same expression, well, almost the same expression on these ones. What that means is I don't want to change the Y, actually, so I'm going to remove that expression, and I'm just gonna say value, and the second value in a 2-value property is 1. The first value is 0, so this is value 1, which means just don't change that value, just leave it as is. And that also means I can still change it. See, I can change the Y, but the X doesn't change. That's what the value does. Means I can still manipulate it. Cool. So that also means I can make that shorter. The only thing that now doesn't work, it's because this is further back than this, it's obviously getting shorter at the same degree. So now I need to calculate some sort of percentages or something, but I don't even know how much longer that is from this. Okay. Let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, first I'm going to add the same expression onto this bar, and then it can do the same thing, but it's like broken. So I need to fix that somehow. Don't know how yet, but let's see. I'm going to open, or yeah, reveal in Explorer, and it's going to open that Explorer tab. And it's inside of here. All right. Come on. Okay, so, this is not showing me how large it is. Okay, that's weird. Why? Why are you being weird? Okay, fine. Oh, it's not a round number. I hate that. Okay, let's just say this is 162 width. Okay. And then let's say this is, oh, okay. That's 960, 162 by, what if I just made this 160? Isn't that easier? Oh, why is that? Wait, what? Why? Okay, the numbers are super weird. Okay, this is 960. Oh, that's X and Y. Oh my god. Okay, I need to undo whatever I was doing. See, I'm getting all confused with X and Y and everything else. Okay. So, it's 15, let's say it's 1595 wide. And this one is, actually both of these are 1695 wide. Cool. 1695, so, okay. Let's calculate the percentage. I don't know how to do that. Let's find a nice calculator. Percentage calculator. And maybe we can, that's not the percentage calculator I usually use. Yeah, good enough. From 1595 to 1695 is 6.27%. And so it should be, so if I calculate this by, oh my god, 1.621. I think I need to calculate it by 1.627. Oh no, that just makes it larger. Okay. I can't just multiply it, because then I would have to create a conditional statement if I wanted that to be yeah, I think it would need to be a conditional statement. Maybe? No, it doesn't understand that. Illegal use of if. Okay, I'll just create a variable then. X scale. I don't know. Let's call it X scale resize. I don't know if I can do that. If I can make an if statement, a variable, a calculation. I don't know if that works. No. What if I write it all as one line? Does that work? Will you allow me to do that? No. Okay, I don't know how to do it. Well, can I separate dimensions? Not in this one. Okay, right. Oh, did I do it? No, I didn't do it. Damn it. Oh, so close. What if I put it before my if statement? Okay, at this point, I'm just blindly trying things. Yeah. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to utilize a conditional statement in this capacity like this. So I guess it's not quite working unless I just separate this. It's not going to be part of the same slider, and then I'll just have to manually make it the size I want it to be, essentially. That way it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do it like that. Okay, so with this I can make this one smaller, and with this I can make this one smaller. But right now this is parented to this, and that doesn't work. So now I can do this. Okay, I can do this. I can take the pull tab, instead of putting it on that bar controller, I can just have the position be parented to this position. That way it doesn't affect the scale. So let's see. But that's not going to work either, because this position is at minus 78 on the X. Yeah, that's going to copy this exactly, and I actually need that to be elsewhere. Yeah, I'll just do that anyway. So it needs to be at 980 and 50. Okay, I can do that. Plus value. And then I can still manipulate it, I think. Oh, I can't. Really? Okay. Cannot manipulate the value, huh? All right. I can separate the dimensions, and I can do this, maybe? Oh, I cannot add dot value to the end, huh? Oh, it would have to be value 1. No? Still nothing? cannot add value to this. Okay, it's fine. So that way it will do that animation without forcing the X position, because we need to change the X position. Or rather, I think I would like to turn this one and the other one off. So I'm going to create a checkbox control, or add a checkbox control to the screen, and this will be the tabs on off, and I will link this to that slider, and I'll just add times 100, which means anytime I turn this on, you will see it. When I turn it off, you won't see it. And I will do the same to the top tab. I don't know which one that is. Why can't I see it? Oh, this is called screen. Okay, then. Right click, copy expression only, paste. And now I do need to, no, I'm just going to turn them off. Okay, so in that case, the next or last thing, I would like the framework scale. And this scale, I would like that to scale from, oh, not there. From here, scale, and then I can scale that up. Nice. And 100. Okay, now I can add all of that to, when I right click, I can open Essential Graphics Panel, Framework, and I can add all of these properties that I put on this controller here, in here, and then I can control them from outside of this composition, so that inside of the composition nothing changes, and I can adapt it to some different scene where I want it to look slightly different. And I can't drag it from here. I have to go in my timeline, and I can drag them from here, but it always brings in just a slider, so I can hit enter while I have this selected, copy that name, and just paste that in there. And that's that. And then I should be able to make the changes that I want to make for that infographic animation. I don't need this, I don't think, but I do need this. Okay, let's see if that's going to work. So excited to see if that's going to work. All right, so we need to go back to MITRE, I think, and then we have the framework here, and that now has essential properties. I'll zoom in for you. So that has these essential properties now that I can toggle open, and it's got all of the values that I added to the graphics panel. And I don't want to use the essential graphics panel anymore, because that will control the original properties inside of that composition. But I just want to create changes to, like, not permanent changes to the composition, but changes to the template part of this composition. So let's see, I want this one, like, yeah, the only other issue is that it's also like too tall, maybe? Doesn't matter. Okay, so bars. Oh no, why is that changing? Why is that changing? something is linked to the bar scale that shouldn't be linked to the bar scale. Why? No, but not in here. Oh no. Yeah, After Effects does this sometimes when I've had this problem before where I've set up my Essential Graphics panel and then I started working on it and then something else was moving that wasn't supposed to be moving. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'll try and close the composition and maybe reopen the composition or something. And if that's not gonna work, then it'll have to be it'll have to be After Effects. It's always these, like, things. Like, every time After Effects has an update, it's always, like, something like that breaks. Like, some small thing that only a small subsection of After Effects users will experience, and then there aren't any changes for that for ages. Do let me know if you're experiencing any kind of lag in the video. I am noticing that we have some dropped frames, so I hope that's not an issue. Okay, After Effects doesn't want to. Now OBS doesn't want to get smaller than this. That's super annoying. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Just trying to make this the size it should be. I hope. This is so annoying. I can't see if this is the right width because OBS is now forcibly too large. Great. Love when that happens. Yeah, that also means I can't see the chat fully anymore. Come on, OBS! Why are you being like this? This is so annoying. Ah, cool. Cool. Technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. Everything is like huge again. Okay. Let's try this again. So we're going in here and we should be able to make this smaller without that. Yeah, see, now it works. It's just like such a random thing. Let's zoom in here so that I can try and make this the same width approximately. I mean, it should be at 60, but I think that, no, that doesn't work. 63 maybe? I mean, 62.5. I mean, if you want to just animate, you don't need to know any expressions, but even simple expressions like wiggle and loop and some of these, like, those are expressions that will make your life a lot easier when you're animating just with pure keyframes and nothing else. It can get a little bit tedious. Sometimes you have to create a lot of keyframes to create something more complex. For example, in a character animation, if you have to repeat the same animation that a loop expression would help you with, for example, then you have to create a lot of keyframes for that. You can stay away from expressions in After Effects. It's not necessary to create complex expressions to the level that I use them, but I find that it makes life a lot easier, and also you can create templates for yourself. Like with the this template composition, you can create templates for yourself that you can then reuse instead of reanimate every time you need to use that particular animation. And I know that this particular scene with the framework, I will be using it multiple times in this video, so it makes sense for me to set up something more complex to then have less work sometime down the line. And it's not that you have to learn all of the expressions at once, it kind of comes with time. I've learned relatively complex expressions because I wanted to do complex things. Like I wanted to create motion graphics templates that I can sell as digital assets. You can find them on my shop if that's something that you're interested in. I also teach how to create those expression-based animations in my online classes, which also you can find on my website. So getting to that point was about finding the path that got me there through the things that I needed to do. So because I needed to do or wanted to do those motion graphics templates, I found more and more complex expressions and kind of worked my way up to that level. But if that's not what you want to create, that's not something you need to learn. So, you know, it really depends on your project and what you want to achieve in After Effects. But I would say some basic expressions like loop, wiggle, bounce, those three are very often used in basic expressions. So those are ones that you should familiarize yourself with. But other than that, yeah, you can live a life without expressions. It's not a problem. And your question was 1 out of 10, or 1 to 10. I would say like a 3 you need to know. It's essential, but depends on the complexity of your projects. If your projects have a lot of interlinking things like this that I was just doing with the sliders and stuff, that's more like an 8. I need to know how expressions work to make this type of essential properties thing work. So it depends on your project. All right, so we've got that. I want to turn off my tabs. Nice. And then I would like to make this scale up so that we see a little bit more. Maybe we'll just have maybe we'll just make this a little wider. Maybe we'll go to, 65. And then there should be like a, I don't know, 68? Maybe a little less. 67. That's probably about right. And then I can scale this up just a tad. The issue now is that they don't have the same distance between them as they do from the edge. So I can adjust that by moving these over to 4M. And let's say this is, okay, 40. Okay, and then they essentially have to be oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I need to undo that. There is stuff linked to that that isn't otherwise visible. Okay. Oh dear. Now this is an issue. Yeah, I can't actually make them. I can't do that. I'm just going to have to accept that the distance is a little off. And the other annoying thing is that you can see when it's popping up. Okay, I can add another thing to this. Okay. I can add another thing to this. What I can do is I can turn off the visibility of some of these. All right, I can go inside of here. I'll open the essential properties. Now it's getting a little bit messy because now I'm linking properties across different what's the word that I'm looking for? Compositions. But okay, let's add a, yeah, here we have a controller, so I'm just going to add a checkbox control to this. And what I can do is I can link all apart from these like beginning few to this checkbox control. I don't know how many we want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's say 6. And we'll have this, and there are no keyframes on these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a different color, like, I don't know, orange? Do we have orange in this yet? No. Okay. And I'm going to link this. I'm going to lock that. I'm going to link this to that opacity controller. Times 100. Let's turn that off. On, not off. And then I'm gonna copy paste that expression to here. Oh, and I just realized that After Effects is too small. Okay. Let me resize. And now I can add essential properties to this. That way I'm not linking across properties. I can make this screen. I can add this checkbox control to that. And then add that, link that checkbox control to some other checkbox control here. So now this has essential properties. And this checkbox, this layer can also have this same checkbox control. That way I'm not linking the properties across two different compositions, because that can get a little bit complicated to remember where these properties come from. By this like double linking, yes, it is a little bit repetitive, but at the same time, all of these controllers are in this comp and they're not dragged in from another comp, because you can do that as well, but I would advise not. So now I can first of all put this in here and then just turn off those that I don't want to see. And we'll go back in here and I'll just turn those off. Yay! And then let's see how long this is gonna get. That's super long now. So now the scaling is a little annoying because I can't actually scale it as far as I would like it to scale. So maybe we'll just take this off of the very last one of this set. I think that's this one. I'll just take that off there. And that way, that one is also on. Oh, it's not on. Why? That's odd. That shouldn't be under the spell of the of the columns anymore. So it's, I guess it's After Effects not updating the properties again. Oi, this is so annoying. So absolutely annoying. Okay. I'll just leave this on for now so I can do that. Okay, cool. And then it looks something like this. And then we have a smaller version of that framework. Yay! I think it needs to go even further. And I don't know how long this is supposed to be. I don't know if I already set an end time. I think not. So, where is the audio? Okay, so let's listen to the audio for a second. I think this is where it ends, really. Let's see if I...
Including the CVE and CVS, including the CVE, and objectively scoring vulnerabilities.
I don't know if that's where it's supposed to finish. Let's go to the storyboard and then we'll know more. Oh, come on. Doesn't respect the width of OBS anymore. Okay, so objectively scoring computer software vulnerabilities. That's exactly where it should finish. And then there's going to have to be a transition, or rather, yeah, there's going to have to be a transition because we then go back to this. So, yeah. Let's have a look. So if we look at this big, this is kind of what it would look like. I think that's quite cool. And then we need a transition out of this, which let's say it's just 20 frames, and the end of the scene would then be here. And I think I don't need to do anything else with this. Where is it? This. I mean, yeah, there is some animation happening. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the expression from the, is it the mitre attack? No, it's the, yeah, should be in here. No, it's the next scene after that. Yep, this is where I'm using these expressions, and essentially I want... Why is there a time remapping on this? Surely I don't want time remapping on this. Oh, I do want time remapping on this. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. But I just want the expression of this. Okay, because the expression is on the time remapping, so that also means I need a keyframe on the time remapping. So anyway, so right click time, enable time remapping, and then I'm going to paste that expression on there, and it doesn't understand. Probably because it doesn't have the same keyframes. That sucks. Okay. I can copy the whole thing, and then I'll just paste the properties instead. And then I can copy these properties and I can paste them onto here, and then that should work. Oh, okay. Also the scale and position. Okay, scale and position. Copy, V, copy, V. Now maybe. Oh, does this seem smaller than the other one? Oh no, it's the same size. Okay, I guess we can just scale it up a little bit. Okay, so we can get rid of this. There is a little fly flying around here. And the scale, yeah, we can scale this up a little bit. Something like that. And then we can have a look at how that looks. So we're going from here to... yes, let's update the layers, markers from layer. So this is probably where it will end. And let's play that. It's going to render a little bit. It's going to take some time to render, but it doesn't seem to be skipping frames. It should be skipping frames. Yeah, now it's rendering much faster.
Is organization which developed attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome resources for the cybersecurity industry,
including the CVE and
CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities.
And achieve their
Oh, so apparently I can't.
Various objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome...
Still having trouble playing it back for some reason. I'll just let it render fully, otherwise I don't think I can...
achieve their nefarious objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome...
Okay, so... Now... Still struggling with that. Playback. I pre-rendered this already. Just play it already.
And achieve their nefarious objectives. MITRE is the organization which developed attack, as well as a bunch of other awesome resources for the cybersecurity industry, including the CVE and CVSS models for uniquely identifying and objectively scoring vulnerabilities. And achieve their nefarious objectives.
The only thing I don't like is
the organization which developed attack,
this line arrives, like it goes past where the animation of the framework starts, I think. See, the line is like past this, whereas it should probably initiate it. And also, why is it being so weird? Oh, I see. Yeah, it's coming kind of out of nowhere, but I think that's okay. But this line is bothering me. Thank you. Thank you. I also think it works quite well. However, I think this needs to be... actually, I don't need to move the second set. Just need to move this slightly forward, not backward. Yep, that's it. Okay. That's perfect. And that's it for today. We did it. We animated this scene. We're almost finished with this scene. Actually, no, we are finished with this scene. All we need for this scene is the off animation so that we can move to the next scene, which brings this full screen back. And then some other stuff happens during that scene. So yay! This is really exciting. Let's save that and I'll come back full screen. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream, and if you are wondering about my certain funky workflows, I have I have recently released. There's a hair in my face that I keep brushing out and I can't find it. Okay, sorry. I've released my first tutorial. It's on the YouTube channel. You can scroll down on my channel page and you can find motion graphics templates. It's a mini tutorial, just about 2.5 minutes long. And I will be releasing every Sunday. I'll release a 2 to 3 minute long tutorial about a small single topic, like this time I talked about the preview shortcuts. So let me show you what the preview is. This is what I was just using to preview the animation. So this is the preview shortcuts window, and we can make that full screen. Nope, we can't, because it will always stay like that. All right, so this is the preview shortcuts window, and you can like have different playback settings, and you don't need to click these. You just use those shortcuts in After Effects, and you can then set different presets for that. And I explain in that tutorial how that works and what you need to do to make it work. Oops, sorry, I turned off something there. I meant to turn off the desktop audio because I didn't want that to play. But yeah, I basically explained to you, I thought if I scrub through I can show you. I basically explained to you how that works and how you can use that to your advantage. And next Sunday, the next little tutorial will come out. So if you were wondering about start timecode, why do I animate at 1 hour in the timeline? I'll explain that. How does noise reduction work in Audition? I explain that because I use that often for creating my online classes. How does the shy toggle that I also used in today's live stream, how does that work? Why would you use it? That will be a tutorial that will come out. And what else? One illustration tip that I shared in the last Shut Up and Draw, that will become one of the tutorials. And this Friday, for those of you who were not here last time I announced this, for the foreseeable future, Fridays will be work watching instead of Shut Up and Draw, because I want to edit some of those snippets, those tutorial shorts together, and I will take you on this journey with me. Let me go full screen again. I will take you on this journey with me, and you can watch how I edit videos, how I edit these tutorials, the templates and setups that I've put together to create these videos on the fly, so to speak. I've kind of optimized my workflow there, so I can take you through how I did that, and I will do that. And I also created a motion graphics template to go as an overlay graphic for those edits. So yeah, come join me on Friday and we'll do some video editing together. Until then, I hope to see you soon. If you'd like to support me, as always, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can also leave a comment with any questions you might have about today's session or about any After Effects questions you might have. And please feel free to share this video with your friends. I'm still a pretty small channel that's trying to grow. if you'd like to support me monetarily, I also have a Patreon and a, let me switch here. You can support me on Patreon, on Ko-fi, and buy me a coffee. That's, how do I get there? I don't know. Here. Yay. You can, so become a patron, join the classroom, and I share a whole bunch of expressions, project files, scripts, behind the scenes in the classroom on Patreon. So if you like, you can become a patron there, get cool perks, or also just support me. But if you don't want to do that or don't have the ability to do that, that's cool. Just you showing up and watching the videos is support enough. So thank you for that, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!